the girl boss. And this week on Ups is Up, we've always talking about rising up. We're always talking about speaking up. And we're always talking about, guess what? Somebody put bossing up in your business, in your life, in everything that you touch. And so what I wanted to do this month of September, I wanted to talk about the girl boss empire state of mind. Okay, the girl boss empire state of mind. And I can bring in some powerhouses to the network. Okay, so I want y'all to get ready. Somebody say get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, because I'm bringing some fire into the house. Okay, somebody put some fire, put some flames. We are coming in hot, and we are coming to give you some drop some nuggets, drop some gems, and but most importantly to inspire you. Okay, because I know when I talk to women, there are times when I'm going to say we live underneath of our potential. We have an idea of what we want to do, but the steps to it, we tend to either start and stop, okay, start and stop, or we don't decide to make the moves because we're used to being successful. And what we cannot do is fail. And so to prevent failure, we decide to stay in the comfort zone. And that is what, as our vision, as our whatever it is we're going at, our goals, the only way you're going to get there is if you take some risks, if you step out of the comfort zone, if you keep moving, if you keep striving, if you keep going. If you can't go through, there's a roadblock here, you got to take a detour, go around, you have to go under, you have to go over, you have to do some things. There's a saying, in order to get someplace you haven't been before, you have to do some things you haven't done before. And as a life coach, that is what my mission is. That's Rich and Lady L. They were talking about purpose. They were talking about your pathway. They were talking about passion. That is my passion, to help women who may be stuck, who may be trapped in their personal prison, and helping them to discover who they really are. Underneath all of the I'm gonna say the heels and the hoes and the lashes and the makeup and all the things, right? Who are you really? What is it that you now want? Because a lot of times we are living other people's dreams. We are living other people's passions. We're too busy working to help other people live their dream that we now forget ourselves and what it is that we want. And then you get to deliver on your destiny. Okay, that's getting you to your destination. And that is critical in life. In order, whatever you're going through isn't just for you, it's for the people who you are called to serve. And you can't serve them if you haven't gotten there yourself. Okay, you can't teach somebody else to get someplace that you haven't been. It just doesn't work that way. Right? That's not how it works. Look, the math don't be mathing if we go in that route. It just does not work. And so as I get ready to bring my guests, I do want to share this one thing. I want to encourage someone with a free book. And it is something I wrote. It's called Mark from Birth, the transformational journey from flawed to fabulous. And it's about my birthmark that helped to shape who I was. And so we're going to celebrate first time subscribers here on the network. Go to themsenetwork.com, okay, /subscribe. And I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the network. All those who subscribe are going to enter into a drawing, and you will get a copy of the book. Okay, it's called Mark from Birth, the transformational journey from flawed to fabulous. And it will help you transform what you think is your flaw, but it's actually going to get you to your fabulous. All right. All right. So without further ado, I know she's backstage. I know she's ready. I was talking to her earlier. She is ready to bring the heat. Okay. Somebody say Ashley Key Montgomery. Okay. Ashley Key Montgomery is in the house. And this is just a little bit about who she is. She is an international keynote speaker. Okay. She is a celebrity manager and publicist. She's an event host. She also has She's also an international best-selling author times four. Somebody say times four. And she's also an award-winning entrepreneur. She's a CEO of Exceptional Healthcare Staffing, and she's also of the founder of Babes in Boots Empowerment Organization. And she has curated a space and a platform for women of all ages to overcome challenges that they may face and create a life that will outlive them. So without further ado, Ashley Key Montgomery, welcome to Up Sis Up.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. It is so good to have you here. And I know I read a little bit about your bio, a little bit about you, but there was so much more I could have said. And so what I want to do, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to the listeners and those who may be listening on replay, those who may be seeing this on social media, wherever this goes, YouTube. Okay. I want you just to share a little bit about yourself and what you think they need to know.
Okay, thank you again, Dr. Marcia, for having me. So one thing I would love to share, and I was just sharing this with Dr. Marcia, is that I am a nurse. And that's how it all started. My whole journey started because I had a passion for people. And being a 17-year-old mother, I wanted to drop out of school. And it's like when I would think about my son that I was carrying, I knew I couldn't drop out of school because I wanted a better life for him. And I'm thinking, dropping out of school, we're going to be living, not a good life. So my son is actually what pushed me to go back to school, graduate, and then go to school to become a nurse. So I went to nursing school, not even knowing, that I was capable of it. And based on me doing all of that and being a 17-year-old mother, going back to nursing school, even when I wanted to drop out, and my life just happened. And I, I worked for this company for years and I was building somebody else's vision. And I took their company from 5 employees to about 300 employees because I went there as the nurse, like I was telling Dr. Marcia earlier, I was the LPN. And I just sometimes we take what we are, and I was just like, I'm not capable of this. But God was telling me, you're capable of more. So I went there not even knowing that I could take somebody's business from 5 to 300 and some employees. Worked there, became the nursing administrator, just end up learning so much. And then at one point I said, hey, just as I'm building somebody else's vision, I could build my own vision. But that
Mm-hmm.
was after the fact when I was, I don't know if you want me to tell everything, but it's a long story. But that was after the fact with me trying to go back to school to get my RN. And when the roadblocks kept coming up, that's what made me say, I want to start my own business. So I quit my job, stopped, end up pouring into myself, started my own staffing agency. And the rest is history. Everybody kept telling me, you have a story, you have a story. So I was like, oh my God, I don't have time to write a book. I don't have time. And within really like a year or a year and a half, about 2 years, about a year, I probably wrote like 4 books. It probably was a year and a half. I ended up writing 4 books when I didn't even have enough time to write one book. And two of my books I have written with Les Brown. One of them was his book, and one of them was the book that he partnered with me with 20 other women. So I started speaking. So that's how my journey really started, is being a 17-year-old teenage mother, 17-year-old, going back and furthering my education and not doing that, but just steady going back is what started this whole journey with me doing women empowerment events, writing books, speaking. It started my whole journey. So
Yeah.
I always say our obstacles, everything that we face, the pressure is meant for your purpose. You're not supposed to give up because you don't know why you're going through all that. It might be for the next woman that's ready to give up. So yeah, I have a
Mm,
lot.
you do. And so this month, I am highlighting girl bosses with an empire state of mind. And I want the listeners, those that are under the sound of our voices, I want to just echo some of the things that you mentioned. You said you were a 17-year-old mom. Okay. You wanted to drop out, but you couldn't. Okay. There's a nursing journey that we've been talking about. Then you just dropped a little bomb. You dropped a little nugget. You said Les Brown. You co-authored a book with Les Brown. Okay. You also grew someone else's business from a few employees to over 300 employees. Okay, we haven't even touched the surface. Okay, if you're hearing me, if you're hearing what's happening here, Ashley is giving you all the inspiration that you need right now. Okay, she's telling you where she started, and she's just giving you a glimpse of where she is right now. And I'm telling you, we haven't even started the conversation. Okay. So one, Ashley, I just want to congratulate you. And I want to know, I'm trying to slow this down a little bit because it's okay. But I want to say when, how we met. Okay. So we met at the Leadership Experience Tour and I was interviewing you. Mm-hmm. And I want you to share just a little bit about um, that moment, you being on the stage, what may have also been happening in your life around that time. Just kind of just share.
So, and that's the thing too. So for the leadership conference, my life just took off. It literally took off within it's been taken out, but a lot has really happened like within the last year and a half. But I really was going through a lot in my marriage, a lot. Like my husband and I've been with my husband for 21 years. And we were facing like divorce. And then also in the moment of that, I'm trying to raise two teenage sons too. They're sending one of them had went off to college. The other one just left so at the leadership conference, the other one was already in college, and the youngest one was getting ready to graduate in May. And so I also end up getting a big old opportunity of connecting with someone in the reality world, which is I'm now her manager. And right around that time, we had to go to Mississippi to film. So I'm over here trying to balance my whole life. It's a lot going on. And then in the midst of that, me and my, like a month before the leadership conference, I had just received news that my daddy did not have long to live. And so I was in ICU with him in Houston Hospital at Herman Memorial for like 4 weeks. So I didn't even know if I was going to go to the leadership conference. Plus, I had to go to me. It was a lot hitting me at one time. And I already had then canceled going to the leadership conference before with Sean. And I said, okay, I gotta make it as a reason, which I'm glad because I met you, I met Eric, I met some amazing women. If I would have never went. And I tell everybody, you always got to put yourself in the right room. You never know who you're going to connect with. And I feel like that's why all that pressure was coming against me. It was trying to stop what God had for me. And I still made a decision going to Mississippi to do the filming, got on the plane and went straight to Detroit to, which I couldn't even make it the whole time. But when I got there, it was amazing. I met some amazing people. You just y'all all made me feel so welcoming. And it just made me think like, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I made a decision to come out here because I would have missed this opportunity. I would have missed this networking, this collabing, just the connection that was made. So despite of everything that was coming against me, I still was able to go there and show up and do what God called me to do and connect and tell my story, speak and just dominate. And I feel like that's what we got to continue doing in life. Even when the trials and pressures is coming, is either you're going to give up or you're going to shut down. I mean, you're going to keep going or you're going to shut down. And I chose to keep going. And I looked at my dad, I said, Dad, you're not going nowhere no time soon. You're going to see me. Okay. I'm going to be able to sit here and take care of you and just really, you don't have to worry about nothing. So I say, you got to keep pushing. And my daddy tells me that all the time, that he proud of me, and that's why he keep pushing because of me and my sister.
Yes. So, y'all, we were supposed to go to Leadership Experience Tour. Okay. You said your father was given a terminal, some bad news. Okay. You had the issues with the marriage. Okay. You said facing divorce. And then you get canceled, but then you decided to go. And from that, you now have additional connections. You had some collabs, and you said your life has now, things have just kind of just blown up. And that is what happens when you're on the edge of a breakthrough. Things will start coming at you. And I remember my pastor, he said, he was giving us some tips on how do you know when it's a spiritual attack.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when everything starts going wrong. Okay, because the purpose is to stop you. The purpose is to shut you down. The purpose is for you to tap. They want you to tap out. They want you to say, this is too much. I cannot do it. And so I want to pivot. I want you to talk more. When we talk about girl boss empire state of mind, what does that mean to you? Well, how do you transition into that type of mindset?
So, girl boss, Empire State of Mind. So, I always talk about how to transition to that. I always talk about mindset. You really have to have a different mindset. In order to do everything that I have did, I had to change my mindset. I had to magnify my thinking. I had to really get away from my familiar. I got away from my familiar, and a lot of people in my hometown, they looking and seeing like I'm doing a lot, connected to a lot of people. But I had to get away. I had to change my mindset because I felt like I was confined. I was confined to my surroundings. I was confined to the locals. I was confined to just average and being comfortable. So when I put myself out there, going to events like Way in Detroit, I'm going to Atlanta, I'm going to that, I'm going to all these events. Before I even started speaking, I was just listening. I just wanted to receive. I just wanted to connect. I wanted to collab. I was so hungry from that. And by me putting myself in these rooms, that's when I started meeting people and my mindset literally started changing. I started saying, hey, I could create this. I could do this. I could do this. Because I was not thinking on a whole nother level until I started just going to different events and traveling all over and meeting people outside of my city, because
Yes.
it's a very small city out here and the resources is kind of limited, and it's a lot of things that I started learning. I'm like, hold up, I can do a book collab. I would have never wrote a book, 4 books, if I would have never got away from here. I met people telling me, showing me how to do the books, how to do the editing, how to do the publishing, how to do speaking. I would have never met nobody. So I would say, in order to have that girl boss and to build that empire, because I always talk about building an empire too for my sons, a legacy. In order to have that mindset, you gotta get out of your comfortable. I say sometimes God will put you in an uncomfortable position to push you into position. Sometimes it's the unfamiliar. It's what
Mhm.
we don't see or what we don't know. But if you stay consistent, those doors gonna swing open. There's a lot of things that I had to do, and I didn't know what God was up to. I was like, man, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? But down the line, I said, that is why I was doing it. So
Yeah.
God is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So I'm going to echo a couple of things that you said. And the first thing, do you remember that movie back in the day where it was a little bit of a, well, I don't, it was a scary movie, but the name of the movie was called Get Out. Do you remember that
Oh
movie?
yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, right. And so what I'm going to say, what I'm going to say is that the advice that I hear Ashley talking about is is get out. Okay, get out of the familiar, get out of your local area, go and meet some people other than the people who you've been hanging with. In the show before us,
Yes.
Rich Live, he talked about the people that he knows are not his supporters. Okay, the people that, even though you may have
Mm-hmm.
a crew, right, but the people who you are really called to serve are the people that you don't even know right now.
Yeah.
Okay. They are people who are waiting and watching and wanting what it is that you have to deliver, what you have to share. And you're not going to find it in your backyard. Okay. You're going
And
to have to go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but what you're saying, all the like, it's crazy. All my close friends that I am like really close with, and they're like accountability friends too. We hold each other accountable. I only been knowing them for a year. I have friends that I've been friends with that never poured that much value into me or pushed me the way the people that I'm connected to now.
Mm-hmm.
So that is true. The people that's
Mm-hmm.
going to support you is not the people that you No, that you've been knowing for years.
And I'll say that it's not like a bad thing, right? We
Yeah.
all have people who are in our area for a season, and they provide what they were supposed to provide. But in order to get to your next level, you have to leave out. It's kind of like the kiddie table at Thanksgiving. Okay,
Mhm.
you've been sitting at the kiddie table in the folding chair in the little square card table. Okay, but it's time right now for you to go to the big table. Okay, with the
Yeah.
big chairs. It's time for you to come out of your comfort zone and say, you know what? I want to be at the big table. I need to come out and get to the next level. And you can only do that by aligning yourself with people who are there or who are on their way there.
Mm.
And I loved how you said your network now is made up of those people in the bigger rooms, right? And so what we're saying is that in order to get there, you're going to have to shake things up a little bit. And let's start shaking it up, okay? You mentioned that I know that you're a celebrity publicist, right? And you mentioned that you have a client who is in the reality space. And so I want you just to kind of share, if you can, who that is and what they're doing and how you all got connected, and just kind of just share with us where you are.
So, okay, so I'll tell you all. So, this is when you, like you said, shake it up and get in alignment. So, I remember, Current Cherry. I remember Current Cherry. She had an event. It was called Level Up,
Mm-hmm.
and that was I say, oh, okay, I want to be a co-host. She had this opportunity to be a co-host, so I was one of her co-hosts, and we had to interview different. I think it was Jody Watley there, and Letitia Pearson. There was her two celebrities, and this was the first season that Letitia had. So we had to interview them, and so after the interview, I ended up reaching out to Letitia and we just connected. And she was like, how often are you on the Gulf Coast? And I'm like, girl, I'm always ready to travel. What's going on? Because she do brunches. So we ended up connecting and I told her, I said, I'm going to do a women's empowerment event. And she was like, let's do it. I was like, well, are you going to be my celebrity speaker? And she was like, yes. So I hosted it in my hometown. That's how Basic Boost got started. She was my celebrity speaker. Ended up hosting in my hometown. We sold out. We had 175 women. That was my first time ever doing an event. I did it in 3 months. And I was so nervous because I was like, "Well, if the people don't come, nobody." I was like, "Nobody buying no tickets." What? And she was like, "Girl, it's gonna come. Just be." And so I got so excited when I had that event. I told her, I said, "Girl, I want to do another. I want to go to Atlanta." So I ended up going
But
to
hold on, look,
Atlanta.
I'm gonna pause you just for a second, just in case somebody doesn't know who Letitia Pearson is. Can you just share who
Oh,
she is?
okay. Oh yeah, I was about to get to that point.
Okay.
Okay, so Letitia Pearson, she's actually the star on Bell Collective, which airs on Oprah Winfrey Network. She was actually the one that pitched the show, and the producer Carlos King did not want to do the show unless her and her husband was on it. And she was literally upset. I don't want to be on it. I didn't took another Bell spot. But like she said, it's all about alignment. God put her in that position because it wasn't about her. It was about the other women. So now they're going into their fourth season, and they have over 2 million viewers. The show is on it airs every Friday on Oprah Winfrey Network. They have a break right now. They're gonna start back up in October, the mid October. And I had the privilege to be on a few episodes also. I hosted her brunch on one of her episodes. And then I'm also on like a few more episodes with events that they had. So yeah, so let me tell y'all what happened. But anyways, how we got connected in it, how we got real connected. So I said I want to have another brunch and I wanted her to be a part of it. And she was like, okay. But she always tell a story. She's like, it's just like when you in a line, she say, Ashley, she's like, I was like, this girl just won't go. Like what? She said, but Ashley has been the best thing that ever happened to me. So we got connected and I'm doing events, but then I started helping her. I was just like, I just want to help you. I just want to help you. Like God has given you a platform. I just want to pour into you and just help you because you have helped me. You pushed me to launch my own, my brunches. So I just started just helping her. We started helping each other with content, building the brand. And then in March, that's when she asked me, her and her previous manager, he was like, we want you to manage Letitia. I say, me? I was like, so that's when it's alignment. And God is so good because since I had started managing her, I already have got her 8, 9 bookings. So I didn't fully start managing her until they asked me in March, May, and I started fully managing her like in July. And we already got like 8 bookings and stuff. So I was just like, so I've been, getting her with magazines, just being a publicist for her. And now I'm also doing about to do some things with her husband also because he's on the show. So I was like, okay, God is literally opening up doors, but they are really genuine people and gave me that, just giving me that opportunity when I did not know, even had any experience. But that was the same way. It goes back to what I'm telling you, how it happened with my sister-in-law when I worked for her medical practice. And I built her company from 5 to 300 employees, and I didn't have any experience. So sometimes God will put you in positions where you feel like you're not qualified and you actually overqualified. So I would have never known I would have got 8 bookings already. So it's just a blessing. The whole thing is just like when you in alignment, God gonna move you. He gonna push you. He gonna
Yes.
elevate you. He gonna promote you. And I
Yes.
tell people, I remember we just went to this event up in Houston in August, and this girl wanted to book Letitia, and I was like, "Well, I'm her manager. What do you want to do?" She's like, "Well, how did that happen?" Like, hold up. So she kind of just brushed me off, and she went to Letitia and tried to talk to her too. And Letitia directed her back. She said, "Well, get with Ashley. That's my manager." She said, "Oh, she said that." Baby, I don't know how God do things. Don't be worried about how it happened, okay? You better
See,
take it up with God.
that's right. That's right. And fall in line.
Yeah. So yeah, so they are really doing good. Like I said, they have over 2 million viewers. They going into their fourth season, and then it's major because they're on Oprah Winfrey's network. So it's a major network that they're on. So and I love the whole cast, the crew, everybody is so welcoming. It's a blessing though. It's a different experience for me, the reality life, but I love it.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations. I am so proud of you and just how, you're saying it's an alignment. And part of it is that you had to step out, right? You had to go to um, Current Cherry's event, right? You had to do whatever that investment was, right? Whatever you had to do that. And I love Karen because she's always looking to promote other people. And I
Mm.
love her heart. And but from doing that, now you had to, when you did the interview, there was something that you all connected, and then you reached back out to her, and then there was a genuine connection, and then it's all coming from there. People think success is overnight,
Mm.
right? It is
No,
not,
no,
okay? But it does require, and it requires daily work in order to move forward,
it do.
okay? And some of those daily steps are hard. Some of them are tough. Some of them you just don't know. Some of them you don't feel like that is working. Okay. But you're a testament that you just got to keep moving, keep at it, and then God will bless you. There will be the alignment. So let's talk about and Ronnie, I'm just going to the chat real quick. I have Ronnie, she says amen. She says beautiful story. I see Sharon from Cincinnati. I see Kayla in the house. And let's see who else. Who else is Evelyn? We got who else? Sheila G. And they're just giving love and confetti and all the congratulatory comments. So thank you so much for supporting this show, this network, and supporting Ashley. And so I wanted to move to. I know that you said that Letitia helped you to start your brunches, and I know you have the segment is also a shout out to your company called Babes in Boots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want you to tell me about the concept for Babes in Boots. And then we're going to move on to kind of share about your last couple of events.
Oh. So Babes and Boosts, what made me start it. So like I said, whenever I asked her, I said I wanted to do an event. So she kind of just gave me pointers on what to do with the brunch and how to, launch it. So I end up, like I said, I just stepped out on faith and did it. And I wanted to provide a platform for women who don't normally speak or don't really have a platform, and to be able to tell their stories and help somebody else. And just women come together. I love the brunch idea, like, hey, we're gonna, and then Babes and Boots. I got Babes and Boots I'm from Louisiana, and we always used to have trail rides. It's like they have the horses and the trails and everything. Everybody have their boots on, and they'll just go out there and have fun. So I said, okay, I want to switch it up. I want everybody. I want to do a brunch, an empowerment brunch, and everybody come with their boots on, and we be empowered. We brunch. We do second line, have fun, or whatever it is. Do two step, but I want us to have fun. And at the end of my brunches, I came up with this. We have like the pink bandanas, and at the end, everybody just start. We played a little Zydeco music. Everybody swinging their bandanas, and it's a sign that whatever you came in there with, you already overcame it. Like you dropped it off. Like
Mm.
you're about to be a brand new person, and you have to change. Like I said earlier, it's a change of mindset. So when you sitting there swinging the bandana, you need to be saying, "Hey, I overcame depression. I overcame lack. I overcame poverty or sickness or whatever, defeat or insignificant or fear or whatever you came in there with, so you can step into whoever God is calling you to do. So you can progress in starting that business or believing for your healing or restoring your relationship or whatever you came in the brunch with." So that was my goal. It's just so women can come together, network, collab, have fun, overcome obstacles, and just become a better version of themselves. And we already done had three and three different within a year. It just made a year in August the 7th. So we already done had three in Louisiana, Atlanta, and Houston. And all together, we didn't probably had over 400, 500 women that attended them all combined together. So it, like I said, it was a step of faith for me to go to the other cities, especially when I went to Atlanta, because I'm not from Atlanta. I go out there a lot, but I'm not from there. And it was hard to like, I'm like, oh my God. Then when I had Les Brown and them all on there, I was like, oh yeah, we really gonna sell out. It still was hard. I was like, cause I'm getting my name out there and nobody really know me out there yet. And I'm just trying to build my brand. And we end up still selling out. So it was a blessing at the last minute because I had people flying in all over. It had major people just was speaking. Other speakers were speaking there. I had one lady, she owned her own bank in Dallas. So I had like a lot of Dr. Heavenly. I had a lot of major people that was there. And my client Letitia didn't know she was my client at the time, but my client,
Yeah.
but
So look, I want to just pause for a second. So, and um, I'm in awe, right, of your humility. Okay. And I love it. I love it. But I need us to pause for a second in this moment. And I know some of the people who have come to your brunch.
mhm,
Okay. And I need you just to share just some of the guests, some of the special guests, some of the VIP, some of the celebrities that have been to your brunches.
okay. Like you talking about as the speakers?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have Letitia. She didn't spoke. Les Brown, Dr. Heavenly. Some of y'all might know Shay. Shay and Ben. Shay is a big supporter of all my events. Shay have been to all three of my brunches, and he's amazing. Shay have been there. Dr. Kareem Ellis. What's Dale? What's his name? Delaranto or Delaranto? I can't think of his name, but he was
Okay.
there. He was at the
Okay.
one in Atlanta.
Okay.
Um, he was there. Benicia Poole Watson, she's the one that have her own bank. She is a first woman. Well, I think they got other women, but she have her own bank up in Dallas. It's called Prime Home Loans, and
Mm-hmm.
I think she like finance all over the country. So she's really popular now. Drew Sidora. Drew was been to some of my brunches too. Drew is doing some amazing things too now. She's acting. Mayetta Shaw, that's Neo's ex-wife, and she's on Atlanta Housewives. Both of her and Drew is on Atlanta Housewives also. And then I had local people from the areas. Like it every time we had something, we always make sure we had like a few celebrities there. I just wanted the women that was speaking on the stage or whoever invested in themselves to speak on the stage. I just wanted them to be able to have a platform to share with somebody else. Or to, to say, hey, let me connect with this person, let me collab, let me tell my story. So I always made sure every event was in a nice place. I always make sure it was in a nice place, and they had like some big top influencers there to be able to, share the stage with these women.
Mm-hmm. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Angie Bell, was
Oh
she
yeah, Angie.
connected? Okay,
Oh
and can you share
yes.
can you share a little bit about who she is?
Also Angie. I didn't know you knew Angie. That's my girl. So yes, I forgot Angie is a celebrity. Hold on. So Angie, I actually met Angie at when I say I go to events, I met Angie at one of my me and her is friends now. But when I went to her event, Tiffany had an event in Atlanta. It was called Women in Wine. And that is where me and Angie met at, and that's why I met Tiffany at. Now me and Tiffany is real close because we both do events, so we understand each other. And so Angie is amazing. Angie have a testimony because she ended up just take Ariana was at my event too, speaking
Mm-hmm,
too.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But Angie,
And I think Ari, she is in the chat as well. So we
oh
shout we
yeah,
shouting out.
Ariana, I forgot,
Oh,
baby. Ariana is doing some amazing things. She's a
okay,
celebrity
yes, she
too.
is.
It was so many speakers. I'm like, I don't want to miss somebody's name. But yeah, so Angie is now a celebrity wig maker. So she have made Yandy wigs. She have made Cynthia Bailey. She has made she did hair for Faith Evans. She didn't did hair for she did a wig for Letitia. She didn't did wigs for so many celebrities, and she's really have taken off. Her faith is just amazing. Like if she tell you her story and where she came from, basically she and that's another person. That's why I love connecting with women like that because it wasn't like it was given to them. They basically stepped out on faith and the door opened for them. And so we always laugh and we was on set in Atlanta for Bell Collective reunion. And I'm just looking though, and we me and her both was talking. I'm like, girl, I would never expect that I would be on set at a reunion, that's been aired on Oprah Winfrey Network. And I'm just over here with the producers and everybody. And we was just all connecting and laughing and talking. And I was just like, God have a funny way of just really showing you and taking you to places that you could even think you'll go. So Angie is amazing. She is doing some amazing things. I'm so proud of her too. God is opening up doors. She is being placed in the right rooms. She is connected to Bronner Brothers. She was like, I'm on an advisory board. Bronner Brothers. She's like that's something major, and she ended up being connected to Bronner Brothers too, just by her stepping out on faith. So yeah,
Mm,
she's amazing too. Celebrity. I mean, Angie, the celebrity wig maker. That's my girl.
yeah. And so what you said is that it's about faith.
Yes.
And I want you to go, I want you to keep that going a little bit. Just share. We think that it's one plus one plus one plus two plus whatever, but I want you to infuse faith in the conversation a little bit more.
So with faith, I'll tell y'all about my journey. Like and a lot of people who know me would know this. Everything that I do, like if I don't know, like when I quit my job, and I tell everybody before I started my staffing agency, I quit my job and I was making six figures. And I was like in my 30s. I mean, like at the beginning of my 30s, like I'm 37. So I was like 31 or something like that. But I quit and I'm making six figures. But that was faith because before I quit, I did a fast. So a lot of times I don't make a decision unless I know it's from God. And if I don't know it's from God and I'm confused, I'm gonna just go into a fast. So I did a 3-day fast. And that's when my faith come in. Because you gotta have a lot of faith during a fast. And I'm like, okay, God, you gonna speak to me. Like I didn't have food. I don't never let nobody know when I'm doing a fast. It just be between me and God. In my book, when I write, a lot of times my husband and my sons will find out I'm fasting because they're like, oh, she not eating. She must be fasting. But I would not want them to know because it's intimate when it's between you and God. And so that's how I know I'm gonna hear from him. And every time I made a decision, every time I relied on my faith, I always did a fast. And I'll tell y'all one example. While I was growing my staffing agency, I ended up growing my staffing agency to 300 employees. And I started that with $25. That was faith. Like, okay, hold on. So I remember one time my payroll had got up to like $50,000 in 1 week. And this was towards the beginning of me starting the business. So I had put a lot of money out, but the facilities had never sent me my checks. So I'm still waiting on checks. So that's when my faith had to step in. Because all I kept on saying, God, you would not let me be put to shame. You know, these people not about to go talk about me. I didn't want to go get no line of credit because I said I wanted to do the business debt free. So I just kept on believing. So I end up, my nerves got bad. So God told me, start walking around that room because I was working in Florida. That's a whole nother story. I had went on a COVID assignment, thought I was going to work, actually sat in a room and got paid. And so that's how I started the business. So and then we eventually ended up doing COVID testing, but I started my business by like step of faith. Let me go out here and do this assignment. But anyways, I walked around the room and I started speaking. I say, in the name of Jesus, I say, checks is coming to P.O. Box 143. I started decreeing and declaring. I say, I am the lender and not the borrower. I started speaking in faith and believing it. The next day, my husband ended up calling me, and when he checked the mail, he said, you had like about 7 checks in the mailbox. And I never knew that magnitude of really believing. But when I was in Florida, it was just me and God because I was out there by myself and I was really building my business and building my relationship with God. I didn't have nobody around me, no kids, nobody. I was just in this room by myself. So I was really building my faith up. So I love that journey of faith. And a lot of times we got to just, when you give it to God, you got to give it to God. You can't say, I'm going to give it to you, but then you over here, what if it don't work? What if it don't? No, you got to give it to him. And if you don't fully give it to him, I always say go into a fast, go into a consecration, pray and ask God so you can fully release it to him so you can receive what you're asking for. Because
Yeah.
faith without works is dead. And if we believe it, he going to show us what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And if we could, I want to borrow the bandana right now. And for those that are listening, that are feeling heavy, that are feeling like they have been living underneath their potential, that they really want to step out, that they believe that their struggle is bigger than their success. I want you. You mentioned that at your brunches, you swing the bandana, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
way of saying that I am now an overcomer, right? And so I
Mm-hmm.
want, if you could just swing, I want you to swing your bandana for me. Can we
Let
just?
me go. You want
Oh,
me to go get it?
well, no, just figuratively. I'm saying just
Oh.
figuratively. We're just going figuratively, okay? So we're just swinging our bandana. If you're
Yes.
listening, I want you right now just to swing your bandana, and I want you to know that you can overcome anything that you're under, any challenge, any struggle, any limitation, any negativity, right? And so even after we go past this moment, if there's a season when you are feeling oppressed, when you're feeling like you're not enough, I want you to go ahead and I want you to swing your bandana as Ashley Key Montgomery has told us to. Okay, because when you do that, you now have the power to do any and everything that you have set out in this world to do. The gifting has been put in you for a reason, for a season. And no matter if you're a 17-year-old mom, no matter if you feel like dropping out, no matter if there's been illness or death in your family, no matter if the money isn't there, no matter if there's struggle, Okay. And so Ashley is showing you, she's telling you, she's giving you an example of how life can be when you trust, when you continue to press forward. Other than her saying that one time she said she felt like she wanted to drop out of school. I have not heard you say, utter not one time beyond that quitting was even an option.
No.
Quitting is not an option. Okay? That's not an option. And when you know that from the inside, that now helps you to make the moves. So what I want to do, I know you have the Babes and Boots organization, and I want you to tell me when is your next brunch. I also want to know how can listeners connect with you? How can they work with you? What other options are there to reach out to you?
So our next one, I had kind of told you, I kind of put it down a little bit because I am in school. So, but I'm supposed to be collabing with someone, and we're supposed to be doing a Galentine's day brunch up in Atlanta in February. So
Mm-hmm.
if anybody interested, if they want to go to Atlanta or if they're in the area, you can connect with me on Instagram. Is I am Ashley Key, or you can visit my website at ashleykeyspeaks.com. Um, and so that is ways that you can connect with me if you want to attend one of our brunches. And I also do. I'm also working. I didn't tell you this. I'm also working on one of my book projects because of my journey. I told you with me going back to school for nursing. It's called Creative for Greatness in the Medical Field. So I'm doing like a book collab with anybody, want to be a part of that. I already have a few ladies that was because I felt like it's time because God has literally pushed me back in that area and opened those doors for me. So now I want to just really give back to people in the medical field. So it's Creative for Greatness in the medical field. So anyone can reach out, connect with me on that. And I also help people if they're ready to start their staffing agency. We have a program called 60 Days to Six Figures. And just like I was able to start it in six figures, we have kind of put it down to revamp everything and change everything so we can better deliver the information to all our clients. So everything is up and running. So if you're ready to start your staffing agency and make 60 figures in 60 days, I say 66 figures in 60 days, then connect with me. I am Ashley Key on Instagram.
I love it. Thank you so much. And we're going to have someone to put that information in the chat so that they can find you, they can connect with you, they can follow you, they can support you, and they can love on you a little bit because you have dropped some gems, you've dropped inspiration, you have dropped just the overcoming spirit. Okay, because that's what this is all about. Wherever you are, you can overcome. And some of the listeners are putting some things in the chat. There's Tara. She's saying, I can overcome any challenge. Sharon from Cincinnati, she says, I can overcome any challenge. She's speaking it into existence.
Yes.
She also Tara also says quitting is not an option. It is not an option. I'm going to see. I'm just going to scroll up. If you have a question for Ashley, go ahead and put that in the chat at this time. But what I want to ask you, and I ask this to all of my guests, okay? I want you to tell me. So the name of the show is Up Sis Up. I want you to tell me, based on your story, based on your history, what does it mean when you hear Up Sis Up?
Based on my story, up sis up, it means me when I heard that it means just to keep leveling up. Like don't ever get comfortable. Just like I told you my story earlier. And a lot of people ask me this. I don't know if I have enough time to share it. It's just like
Yeah, go
3 minutes.
ahead.
Oh, but I was an LPN for 12 years. And when I got my rejection letter, probably like the fourth time, I said, okay, up, sis, up. I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to just keep on sitting here. I'm going to do something different. And that's when I end up starting the staffing agency. So when I started the staffing agency, the staffing agency has been doing really good, and a door opened for me to go back to school and get my RN. And I heard a lot of people then told me that, well, why is she going back to school? She got a staffing agency. What she needs to go back? She don't need to go back. She making good money. But that's where that up sis up come. Okay, but you don't know what I'm up to. I'm not going just to get an RN. I'm going to get my NP. I'm going to start other business that requires an NP or a RN that I couldn't do as an LPN. So don't ever get comfortable. Don't ever get comfortable no matter what you got going on or what is going on. You gotta, when that door open, you gotta walk right through it. And it's when it was times that I didn't say this, but I did want to give up when I first started the RN program, because I was doing the events, I was doing a brunch tour with Letitia, I was traveling every week. I went in my instructor's office and I sat there and I cried. And I said, I think I want this degree just to say I got it. I said, I don't think I need this. Because it was too much on me and I couldn't study and do all that. And I said, you think it's a waste of my time? She said, Ashley, don't never say nothing is a waste of your time. She said, didn't you say you was a motivational speaker? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, what motivational speakers do? I say, motivate. So she got so, anyways, I just talked to her 2 days ago, and she said, "Look where you at." She's like, "You wanted to give up. You was somebody was a waste of your time, and you have transformed, and I'm proud of you." I said, "Girl, you gonna be a part of my speech when I do talk." But that's where I get that up, sis, up. Don't ever get comfortable. So I'm proud to say that I am graduating in May with my RN, and then I'm going back and get my NP. So I will have that in about 2, 3 years, not long. So I'm just excited that I'm not getting comfortable. So I just want to encourage somebody, when you listen to up, sis, up, that means sis, keep leveling up. Don't get uncomfortable, okay? It's so much more out there for everybody. And if you still breathing every day, you could still be creating every day. So that's what I want to encourage
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do y'all hear that? I'm
somebody.
saying this has been a phenomenal expression of you sharing. I love your transparency. I love your heart. I love your brain. I love the mindset. I love it all. And I can hear the ideas are continuing to flow. She says, not only of all the things that got going on, she's like, you know what? I got more coming. There's other ideas, there's other businesses that are being birthed. There are more people that I can help because I didn't quit, because I can see past my hurdle, because I can overcome anything that I that's before me. And that is such a powerful testimony. That's a powerful pathway, and that's a powerful passion, if I can use some of the words from the prior show. Okay. But it is so good just for to have you here. You definitely have a girl boss empire state of mind. And I just want to just encourage you. I want to just thank you. I'm just in awe of what you've got going on, what you've been able to accomplish in a short period of time. And I just, again, just want to encourage you and just wanted to love on you just a little bit. I can't wait to see what else is coming up for you. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Marcia.
You are so welcome. I will see you in the social media streets.
Okay.
Maybe I hope one day to get to one of your brunches and just to support you however I can.
I will keep you posted
Okay.
because I want you there.
Yes, yes, yes. So with that, have a good evening and I will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And there you have it. That was Ashley Key Montgomery. I told y'all she was coming in hot. She was spitting some fire and she was sharing her story. And it started as if she was down for the count. Okay. She had been hit with a blow, but she didn't stay down. It wasn't even, she changed her mindset and she decided to keep moving. And through each challenge, she started to get stronger. Through each challenge, people started to come to her. She talked about the alignment. She talked about all the ideas she had. And there's this, we talk about girl boss empire state of mind. An empire to me means it isn't just one thing. Okay. You don't have an empire just by doing one thing well. We have been gifted to do multiple things. And when you do them in a sense with a sense of excellency, people are now drawn to you. Okay. But if you're sitting on the inside just watching and not executing, not doing what it is that you've been called to do, now your gifting goes to waste. Okay. If you've had some gifting that is going to waste, I want you to just acknowledge, all right? You know, I'm just saying, do wherever you are, okay, those ideas that have been sitting dormant, pick them back up. Let's start running, okay? Let's start moving. And sometimes we need some help, okay? And if you want help along the journey, I want you to reach out to me, okay? And let's chat. Let's figure out where you are. As a destiny life coach, I help you to get to where your destination is. And sometimes, I said, we need that help. Sometimes we just need a push. Okay. So consider this your push. This is your push we talked about get out, right? Get out of where you are and start moving. Start moving. Start moving. Okay. So with that, if you are a new listener, welcome to the network. If you are, I want you to be a new subscriber to the network. Click the subscribe button. You will be entered into a drawing to get my book. It's called Marked from Birth, The Transformational Journey from Flawed to Fabulous. We will do the drawing, and then I will announce it, and I will deliver, I'll send you the book, okay? But until then, I am Dr. Marcea. I am your girl, boss, and master of destiny life coach here on the MSE network. And this has been our airing of Up Sis Up, which is Women's Empowerment Radio. Until next week, take care.